I'm sorry, y'all. I am hungry, so I kind of got caught up. And I kind of lost track. Y'all, so I was chilling last night, minding my business, trying to cook me something to eat. I'm talking about I was all in my zone. It's 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm cooking fried pork chops, chicken and rice. Yeah. With some banana pudding, with some extra pudding, cause it feels just right. Yeah. Okay. And then all of a sudden my phone rang. Y'all, guess who it was? Remember my friend I told y'all about last week? The one who had like ran me hot because she went to go chill with her other friend, and her other friend had convinced her to start dating dudes for money. Yeah, it was her, y'all. And I really wasn't trying to answer her calls because she had ran me hot. But y'all, she was steady blowing me up. So I finally answered. Y'all, and this lady went slap off on me. Talking about, Zen, that's how you do it. You done straight up ghost me. Like, how could you do me like that? This and that. And y'all, she was kind of right. I did ghost her. Because see, y'all, I'm the type of person that I pay attention to how people handle me. And I also pay attention to how people handle the people that are around them. Because see, even though you're probably not mistreating me at that moment, eventually it'll be my turn for you to treat me how you treat everybody else. Because it's like, y'all, if I hang out with you and I see that you treat people around you bad, it's like I'm kind of agreeing with you if I hang out with you. And so somewhere in your sick, twisted mind, you're gonna think that I'm okay with the way you treat people. And so eventually it'll be my turn. So like, it ran me hot and I was straight up ignoring her, y'all. I was. Now, y'all, I didn't tell her all that, but what I did say, I was like, girl, you know what, you're right. I did ghost you because I did not like the way you made me feel with that whole situation. So, yeah, I was avoiding your call. Like, I was straight up ignoring you, just to be real. So she was like, Zen, you don't got no right to feel any type of way about what I was doing. I was like, hold on, girl, we grown. Because one thing you're not going to do is tell me how I should feel when I know I feel the way I feel. Like, straight up, like, you told me how you felt, and I acknowledge that. Yeah, I did that. I apologize. But at the same time, this is why I did it, because the way you made me feel. And at the end of the day, if you keep making me feel that way, girl, I'm finna ghost you again, and again, and again, and again. Like, I'm just gonna stop dealing with you altogether. So she was like, Zen, why you gotta turn it into an argument? I ain't trying to argue with you. Girl, I just miss hanging out with you. I miss talking with you. I said, girl, do I gotta throw fertilizer on you for you to grow up mentally and emotionally? Because you sound so childish right now. This ain't no argument. Girl, this is called communication. We talking about feelings, talking about how we feel and why we feel the way we feel. Girl, this ain't no argument. And that's what I'm saying, y'all. See, everybody want to be adults until it's time to have the uncomfortable conversations, until it's time to communicate, until it's time to apologize. And not everybody childish again. Come on, man. No. See, I was so ready to get off that phone. And so she was just steady going off on me, y'all. So I was just sitting there listening. Because I have learned that when I really can't understand why people don't understand where I'm coming from, I like to just sit and listen to them just to try to get an idea of like, what's their angle? Like, okay, are they really not understanding me? Or are they really trying to manipulate me? Like, I just have to listen to them because eventually people tell you why they, do the things they do. So I was just listening as she go off. And she finally said something that caught my attention. And she was like, Zen, you think you so wise, but you really not. Like, this breakup hurt. Like, you really hurt me. This breakup is hurting me. So I was like, girl, what? Girl, we ain't never been together like that. We never gazed into each other's eyes. Like, we never saw the sparkle in each other's eyes. Like, we never kissed. We never had a flame. It was never fireworks. Girl, it was never a thing. What? So she was like, Zen, I'm talking about the friendship. The friendship breakup. Because friendship breakups be the hardest. Nobody like to talk about that. But this breakup is really hurting me. Oh, okay, girl, you right. Let me tone it down a little bit. Because I am in defense mode right now. But okay, you right. Friendship breakups are hard. And she just kept going in. She was like, then I was vulnerable with you. You took a vulnerable moment that I had with you and you used it against me to ghost me. Now, once she said that, I was like, okay, I felt that. What she said was true. She was vulnerable. And yeah, I did use it as a moment to ghost her because, girl, she had ran me hot with it. But once she said that, I was like, okay, well, I might do owe this lady a conversation at this point because, yeah, I did ghost her when she was vulnerable with me. So once I realized, like, damn, I really owe her a conversation, for number one, I apologize to her, because I really am sorry. But I also explained to her why I did the things I did. And the best way I could explain it to y'all, I'm a Captain Saver. Yeah. I'm Captain Saver. Like, just picture me with the cape on. Dun, dun, dun. Captain Saver is here to the rescue. Yeah, I'm a Captain Saver, y'all. It's true. And that's not a good thing. That's not a good thing because, for an example, like that situation, like, I don't know that dude from Adam or Eve. I never met him a day in my life. But just by listening to her tell me about how she's taking advantage of him, that brought my energy real low. Like, I feel things that happen to me, and I also feel things that happens around me. So, I'm that type of person to where if I'm in contact with you or I have any kind of dealings with you, if something happens to you, that weighs me down. And I never understood why I always felt that way. And so I have to be real careful about the people that I interact with and the people that I just deal with on a daily basis because they could really not be doing anything to me, but it still could affect me. And it took me a long time to realize that, y'all. It took me a long time to realize that. And I'm going to tell y'all how I stumbled upon that. There was this one lady that I used to deal with, and me and her were strictly friends. Nicest, coolest lady that you would ever meet. But I started to notice that anytime I dealt with this lady, I would feel so drained. And I couldn't figure out why because, y'all, I was used to people like draining me by overstepping boundaries, like asking me for favors, like wanting me to do things that's not my responsibility. Like, that's the only way I felt that people could drain your energy until I met this lady. Because this lady didn't do none of that. She never asked me for favors, never asked me for money, none of that. She always respected my boundaries. So I was like, why do I always feel drained when I deal with this lady? And I'm talking about, it got to the point to where I started ignoring her calls and I stopped chilling with her for a second. But I was so curious to know, why do this lady drain me when she's cool and she respect my boundaries and she don't ask me to do anything for her? So I started paying close attention to her anytime we chill and anytime we have conversations. I really start paying attention. And it finally hit me. This lady is draining my energy through pure conversation. Yeah. Just by talking to me, this lady would drain my energy, y'all. Just to give y'all an example. Y'all ever met somebody to anytime you talk to them, they always got a sad story and they always the victim in that story? It's always a sad story about something bad that happened to them and they always the victim in that story. Well, that was that lady. She was the nicest, coolest lady, but I realized she was draining me by the things that she was saying. And that's how I noticed that, dang, you know what? My energy is really affected not only by the things that are done to me, but just by the things that I have around me, just by conversation. Y'all, let me give y'all another example, y'all, because it can be real tricky, y'all, because that's why it was so hard for me to really catch it and wrap my head around it, because it's very tricky. Now, for an example, y'all, for the longest time, anytime somebody used to say, "You ungrateful sons of..." Y'all, I would feel so bad for that person. I'd be like, oh my God, they are so right. People love using people. People are so ungrateful. Why are they treating this person this way? They don't deserve this. Y'all, I would be ready to die and go to hell for whoever said that, y'all. When 9 times out of 10, they might be the ungrateful people that they talking about. But just because they said those words, I would feel so bad for them. And I didn't understand why until I met this lady. So what I realized is I felt bad for them, not because what they're saying is true, because they could be lying. But those words made me feel bad because it drained my energy. It made me feel so down. It made me feel so low. And it made me feel low because it took me back to a place in time mentally. You see, because there was a time in my life to where I dealt with ungrateful people. There was a time in my life where I dealt with people who did not appreciate me. I dealt with people who used me. So anytime I would hear someone say those words, I automatically would feel their pain and I would feel sorry for them. Not understanding that it's really draining my energy and it's really taking me back to a place and time of my life that I didn't like. And that's a bad thing. It's bad because, yeah, we're supposed to feel sorry for people, but we're not supposed to feel that sorry for people. Because, see, when we feel too sorry for people, this is what causes us to make decisions based on how we feel instead of what's really best for us. So this is why anytime I used to hear somebody say that, I'd be ready to die and go to hell by them. And they could be lying. And they could be the person that be ungrateful. But because they said those words, oh, they automatically had me. They had me. And y'all, so it's important to understand and it's important to really learn the things that people say that triggers you and takes you back to a place and time mentally that blocks your decision making. Yeah, I'm telling y'all what I know. Y'all, it might sound crazy, y'all, but I'm telling y'all some true hardcore facts. And I noticed that when I met that lady, she was always the victim in her story. She never had a story to where she was the problem. You know, she was the aggressor. She was always the victim. She was always the person that was being taken advantage of. And this is why I always felt down. Because she always would take me to a place and time in my life to where I felt helpless, to where I felt like, dang, this world just don't appreciate me. And you really, really have to stay away from them type of people, y'all, because in all actuality, a person that plays the victim all the time is just a person who refused to spend time with theyself, work on theyself, and become self-aware of who they are. Because self-awareness is simply just learning yourself. Learning why you feel the way you feel, why you do the things you do, why you act the way you act. It's highs and lows in life, y'all. So once you know yourself, you know how to get through the lows. Once you know yourself, you know how to enjoy the highs and be humble at the same time. But when a person doesn't want to put in the work on their self, what they're going to do is they're going to go after you because they want you to be sympathetic. They're going to want you to feel sorry for them. And in return, you basically just taking on their burdens. So this person don't want to work on themselves. This person don't want to figure out why they feel the way they feel. So they're going to come to you with a sad story. And now that energy has been put on your back. And now you feeling down. And the more down you feel, it builds up their energy. Because why? They get their energy from you feeling bad for them. It makes them feel good. It makes them feel good that, oh, so-and-so feel bad for me. So they happy now. They don't know how to make themselves happy. The only way they know how to make themselves happy is by placing their burdens on you. So y'all, I'm telling y'all, stay away from people like that. And so that's why I had to explain to my friend, girl, this is why I stopped talking to you. Because I'm not finna be feeling low and feeling down because you don't want to work on yourself. Because you want to go out here and mistreat people and do all of this. Girl, no, because I'm an empath. I'm an empath. I feel things that happen to me and I feel things that happen around me. And it messes up my energy. I be feeling happy and then I'm sad now. And I'm sad all day. You know, and although I know how to kind of go through the lows and make myself feel better, I don't like feeling that burden. I'm going to avoid it at all costs because, girl, you need to work on yourself. So, y'all, after I took my time and explained all that to her, tell me why this lady hung up on me. Yes. And so I was like, what? But she did call back, y'all. She called back like 10, 15 minutes later, and she was like, oh my God, Zen, I don't know. You just kind of like, you was so real with me right there, and I do need to take time and work on myself and this and that. I said, girl, well, why you hung up? She was like, Zen, it was just all too much at one time. Like, I felt like you was judging me. And I'm like, what? I'm judging you? Girl, I just was talking about me. Like, see, I was like, girl, see, that's what I'm saying, right? I just gave you a whole speech about me. In some kind of way, you turned it around to make it about you. For me to feel sorry for you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, the gaslighting has to stop. The gaslighting has to stop. So she talking about, no, Zen, I hung up on you because how do you know I'm a person that's draining you? I feel like you was judging me. And I'm like, girl, did you hear anything I just said? And she said, yeah, but how do you know I'm that person? By this time, I'm starting to lose my cool with her altogether. But I still entertained her. I said, girl, it's very simple. I know the people that I need to have in my life based on how they make me feel. And it's very simple. If my life is easier with you in my life, then you're somebody that I need to keep close to me. You're somebody that I need to continue to bring along on my journey. If you somebody that makes my life harder, yeah, you somebody that I need to straight up ignore and get far away from you as quickly as possible. It's just that simple. You either make my life harder or you make it easier. She was like, Zen, I mean, you can't do that. You really can't do that because that don't make sense. Like, because people have hard times in their life. And just because a person is having a hard time in their life and it's hard for you to deal with that person at that time, that doesn't mean that this person is making your life harder. I said, you right. But that's why I always go back to the pour into someone method. Because see, the word pour, P-O-U-R, simply means P stands for provide. Can we provide for each other mentally and emotionally? You gonna make sure I'm good, I'm gonna make sure you good. O, offer. Anybody that I'm dealing with that I care about, you're never going to have to ask me for things that I can clearly see you need. Because I understand that a lot of people don't like asking people for things because it makes them feel like a burden. So if I'm dealing with you, I'm going to always offer you help if I ever see you need it. And vice versa. I expect for you to do the same. You uplift. We got to be able to speak life into each other. You know what I'm saying? This world going to beat us down. Can you uplift me during the lows? Can I help uplift you during the lows? Because this world is crazy. We're going to need to be able to uplift each other. And the R stands for rebuild. Exactly where me and you at right now. Can we rebuild this friendship from where we at now? Can we really, move forward and maintain this friendship? And that's exactly why it's important for us to have the uncomfortable conversations that people don't like having, because we got to be able to rebuild. I got to be able to tell you how I feel. I got to be able to tell you why I feel the way I feel. You got to be able to tell me how you feel. You got to be able to tell me why you feel the way you feel. Now, the question at the end of the day is, can we rebuild from here? Because I'm telling you what I'm going to accept, and you already know what you're going to do. So what it's just that simple. Once I said that, y'all, she kind of calmed down, and she was like, well, we need to go to brunch. Girl, it's 10 o'clock at night. She's talking about, no, tomorrow. So, y'all, she's trying to go to brunch tomorrow. Tomorrow, Wednesday? Yeah, she's trying to go to brunch tomorrow. I'm like, what? I was like, girl, I don't know I'm going to get back with you. And I really don't know if I'm going to go, y'all, because I'm kind of still... I really don't know how to really gauge this kind of friendship. And it's sad, but I really don't, y'all. I'm a very skeptical person. I'm a very, very skeptical person. And I just feel like it shouldn't be that difficult if I tell you, girl, this is why I did what I did. Like, what? So I don't know, y'all. But y'all, I'm finna go ahead and get up out of here because I really got to do something, and I didn't mean to stay for this long. But as always, y'all, it's definitely been fun. Big backing, big backing, big backing. Hey, big backing, big backing. Big backing, big backing, big backing. Hey.